I want to tell you why education is bullshit. Listen up. I'm not talking about learning. Learning, you should always be learning. Formal education, the industry of education is bullshit. We're brainwashed growing up that education is key, that it's everything, that you're nobody without education, that you need to get educated so you can be something. That's bullshit, because you can be something without being formally educated. Education, all it does is it puts you in a box. It puts you in a little group of people that learn the same things. It doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. Formal education does not equal success. A lot of people that have changed the world don't have a formal education. Mother Teresa didn't have a formal education and she made an impact in the world. Abraham Lincoln didn't have a formal education. Steven Spielberg, Russell Simmons, a lot of people today that are very successful, Richard Branson, they don't have a formal education. Does it matter? No, because they're making gazillions of dollars, because what took them to the success was their drive, was their passion, doing what they love. Now, if you're going to get educated, that's fine. But then what I don't like is when people get that degree and then they think that people that don't have a degree are lesser than them. That's bullshit, because we're all equal. At any given circumstance, we are all human and we're all gonna die. And trust me, when that earthquake comes and the building's falling down, the building does not care that you're a doctor or you're a janitor. You're gonna get crushed. And that's the bottom line. So people that have education always feel that they can be condescending for other people, towards other people that don't have the formal education that they have. And actually, people watching this that have an education are going to be a little uncomfortable, because people that usually get that education, one, usually feel that they're better than people without education. Two, they feel that everyone should follow in their footsteps, because they spend all that money, all that time, all that energy, all that effort into getting that education. So now they feel that they are worth more. That's BS. And then what happens with the economy is that people that have degrees don't hire people that don't have degrees. And that's really the biggest form of discrimination in this country, is being able to discriminate someone based on a piece of paper. Because it's not even about whether that person can do the job or not. They will never even get an interview for the job because they don't have that piece of paper. That's the biggest gang in the world, is the people with degrees. Is people with degrees want to look down on people because they went to whatever school and these people did not finish their education or did not even start their education. Even though someone in Peru, in the mountains, that don't know how to read or write might have the cure for cancer, they're considered less. They will never be able to come here and practice medicine and cure people because they don't have that formal education. They don't have that degree. They didn't go to 10 years of medical school in order to cure somebody. That's BS. What works, works, and you got to do what works. If I'm you and you're spending 70 grand in an education that's going to earn you 30 grand a year, just drop out of school. That doesn't even make sense, business sense. Especially if you're in any kind of business degree and you are spending more on your degree than what your career is going to make you, doesn't make sense. People are always afraid to go against education because it's the biggest gangster system there is. Everywhere, everyone is for education, and when you go against that grain, and when you mention a couple of things that make sense, it makes people uncomfortable. Remember, education is about money. Schools are not doing it for free because they love you. Schools are making money. Whatever school it is, it's a business. So of course, whenever you threaten that money, there's an obvious backlash towards anything that you're saying, because obviously they don't want to lose that money. But the fact of the matter is that it's a business, and it's one of the worst businesses, because you can't even keep it in a market value, because you can't go to a university and negotiate your tuition. You can't. It is what it is. You want to get educated by that institution, this is how much it costs you, not a penny less. And to me, that's like the type of business that really has a monopoly in society. That's the way society. That's why society is the way it is. That's why the economy it's very hard for the economy to prosper because people are not doing what they love, people are not doing what they're good at, people are struggling to get an education that's going to take them nowhere. Because at the end of the day, after you graduate, your life doesn't change. You're still going to have to go there, maybe even intern for free and do all of these sacrifices that you could have done skipping the whole education. You could have started your own business and already been a millionaire by the time someone gets their degree. But you got to have, the balls. You got to be able to be like, you know what? I'm going to do what makes sense. I'm not worried about disappointing my parents or society. I'm gonna do what I know is right, what I feel in my heart is gonna make the best sense for me. And another part of education that I really dislike is the way that the payment system is set up and the textbooks, and it's so expensive, and really it doesn't hurt the people that already have money. Of course they can go to get educated because their parents are going to pay for their dorm, their parents are going to pay for their textbooks, their tuition. All they got to do is worry about getting the grades and getting that degree. You're buying a degree. But people that are, the poor people that struggle, that, have to, put food in their tables, they have to work 2 jobs, they have maybe even kids to take care of, and they still got to buy that $300 textbook. Trust me, it's a whole different category of struggle. I mean, you can't even understand the struggle that a lot of these people go through just to get that piece of paper that really a degree is only as valuable as the value that we give it. A degree is not valuable. It's a piece of paper. Not even that. It's just, it is what it is, but we give it the value. I can choose to say, yes, this degree is valid or not. I can choose that. But society is brainwashed in a way that that piece of paper means so much, when in reality it's like the dollar. I mean, the dollar, we give it value. We say it's a dollar, so it's worth whatever that dollar is worth. Same thing with a degree. I mean, it's a piece of paper. So, I know a lot of people that are very knowledgeable that don't have that piece of paper. And I know a lot of people that I trust more without the piece of paper because they have the experience. To me, experience is a lot more valuable than any piece of paper you can ever have. Another financial problem with education is these textbooks are coming out every year more and more expensive with the same information. There hasn't been any new math in who knows how long. Still, every year there's a new math book. Like, why? There's no new math. There's no new information that we need to learn. So why is there a new math book? And why do people have to pay $300 or $400 to get the math book in order to pass a class to teach them something that they might have learned online for free? Think about that. It's a business. So the textbooks, they're all business. So you can't just have a book. Teachers can't teach of whatever book they like. They have certain books that they have to use. They have to be approved. It's a whole curriculum. So who's making these decisions? And they're all based on financial gain. Now, if you still want to go ahead and get that degree, go ahead. But that doesn't mean that your life's going to change when you graduate. Trust me, when you walk down, that stage and you get that diploma or whatever it is, if your life changes and you're a millionaire overnight, good for you. Most likely, you're not. You're still going to go out there and struggle in the real world with the rest of us. There should be no reason why you can't go to the library, get the books that you need. Even now with technology, go online, watch the tutorials that you need to watch, and learn what you need to learn and be a master at that. Become good at that without having to go 4, 5, 6 years to a school, spend all this money, get into debt, and then now you go back and start from scratch into the real world. Because guess what? When you get to that job, the people that are there, they have experience. So the things that you learn in school are irrelevant. You gotta have to adjust to whatever is really going on in the world. Also, I think education and the way that we bring brainwash affects poor people the most, because poor people now feel that if they don't get that degree, if they don't go to that university, if they don't finish that education, they can never achieve anything. They think, I can only work at, McDonald's, or I can only work at the coffee shop. Fact of the matter is that you can still change the world without a degree. Actually, you have a better chance, because if you notice, a lot of people that get educated and they have that education and then they're in this box because all they've learned to do is to take multiple choice exams and write essays about, just vomiting whatever the teacher told them to say in the essay. So they really sometimes lack a lot of creative juice. They lack the ability to think out of the box. They tell them, well, to start a business, you got to do this, and that. The fact is that maybe if you do things differently, if you think out of the box, you find a new way of doing things. You find a new way of starting a business or a new product. But a lot of people that go to school, it's very hard for them to get out of that program. Bottom line, the school teaches you to follow a certain program. And if you don't follow that program, then you're not going to be successful in any school. They teach you to be on time. They teach you to follow certain guidelines. They teach you how to perform the work in the way they tell you to perform it. So it really shuts down a lot of your creative juice. It doesn't let you think out of the box. It doesn't let you think of a new way of doing things. Because a lot of people that find new ways of doing things are people that are so ignorant that they didn't know that wasn't a way to do it, and they happen to find it. And when you go to school and you get educated, it takes away that being curious. It takes away that ability to kind of search for other possibilities, because it's a multiple choice. A, B, C, or D. So you got to choose. That's school. You got to choose A, B, C, or D. And the answer's got to be one of those. When in real life, there's unlimited answers, and school doesn't teach you to explore those answers because it can't grade based on free ideas and free will and free, liberty. It can't. My advice to poor people that can't afford an education, that feel bad because they haven't finished school, because they haven't even started school, is that forget about it. You don't need it. Education is bullshit. You can still make something happen. You can still start a business and be a millionaire like a lot of people have. You can still change the world. You can still be the best you can be in every aspect. You don't need that formal education to give you any worth, any value. And people that do have a formal education, do not be condescending towards people that don't have it. Because those are the people that might even save your life one day. The fact that you went to a school or university doesn't mean anything. Because intelligence is not measured by how much knowledge you acquire. Intelligence is measured by how you apply that knowledge. So, sometimes you could be so book smart that you're not able to function in the real world. People that are meant to survive in the world are going to have ideas, and they're going to do things their own way. And let's say that something happened, that this world just collapsed. The people with the most ideas and the people ready to survive are the ones that are going to survive, because all your education will not save you in any kind of emergency. It's not going to save you. If there's two people standing there, one with a degree, one without a degree, and a lion is coming to eat them, the person that's going to survive is the person that runs the fastest. So, because the lion doesn't care that you have a degree or not. That's nature. That's the real world. Accidents don't choose people with degrees or people without degrees. Accidents happen to everyone because we're all human. I really think that a degree is nothing but a gang initiation. You're initiated into a gang, and you don't let people that haven't been with that degree, that initiation, into the little gang. So the jobs are kept by the people that have that degree. And to me, that's unfair. That's not good for society. That's not good for us to prosper as a people, because maybe the best person to do that job don't have that degree. And he could have taken that job into a whole nother level, into a better level. But because he doesn't have that degree, one, he probably is not even going to try. Two, he will never get the opportunity. And that's what keeps poor people poor. That's what keeps us struggling. And rich people get richer because they manipulate these degrees in the education into levels on how high you can go somewhere or how far you can go. Education has become worse than religion. People say, oh, but religion it's out there controlling people. It's telling people how to think. Well, that's what education is doing. It's actually even worse because education does it under the flag that once you learn what you're being taught, that you're going to be successful or better off than people that don't learn those things. That's not true. We're all human. We're all here developing ourselves. We're trying to find our way. We don't know the reason that we're here, and no matter how much education you have, you can never be for certain why you are here or why I'm here or why anybody's here. So that's a real education, is finding out what's your purpose. Lastly, people with degrees, just understand that it's just a piece of paper. To me, you're just another person like someone without a degree. And people without degrees, I say, don't feel bad. Just do the best at whatever it is that you choose to do, and you're going to be successful. Actually, you might end up hiring some of those people with degrees to do jobs for you. So all I'm saying is education is bullshit. The industry of education needs to be looked at for what it is. It's a business, and we got to look at it for the business that it is and see whether that business is really benefiting us as a society or not. But don't think that teachers are teaching you for free. Teachers are getting paid. Whether it's a little bit or a lot, doesn't matter. It's a business. People do this for money. People get paid to educate. So I hope that you're able to get educated and not have to spend $100,000 in an education that's going to get you to the same place that you would have been without that education. You're still the same person. Education doesn't change you. You are who you are.